positivity. Today I'm going to be talking about God trick. Now, the reason why I call this video a God trick is because I felt as if God was playing a trick on me. The reason why I want to talk about God trick is because I met an amazing man, amazing, phenomenal, smart, inspirational, and his name is Quante Love. He's an author. He's a film director. He is an author. And how I met him is my God trick. So back in last year, around October-ish, I was doing hair. I was living alone. I was doing hair, hustling, making money, and I would do hair. I'm a very spiritual person. I pray daily. I change, like, the point is, I pray daily. I didn't let a lot of people into my home, and I would say that when people meet me, I would shift their energy in a way. They'll be like, wow, I never met a person like you, you know. I would kind of shift their energy, not to like brag or anything, but I would shift their energy. Now, I get a text message and this guy is telling me he wants to get his dreads retwisted. I'm like, okay, that's normal. I'm gonna do this guy's dreads, you know. I check out their Instagram. I'm like, okay, you know, they don't look creepy. They don't look like they're gonna come kill me. I'll let this guy come to my house. So I meet this guy, and immediately when I meet him, he shifts my energy, and I'm not really used to that. But when I do experience that, I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. I'm very happy. So when I meet this guy, I let him into my home, and he shifts the energy of my home. He's like a beacon of light, and it was an amazing experience. We got to sit down. We talked about women. We talked about music. We talked about life. We talked about love. We talked about everything that you could think of. Those deep questions, those deep thoughts that people don't really want to talk about. That's what we talked about. And he kept telling, and what he told me is that he wanted someone that had positive energy to retwist his dreads, that he hasn't retwisted his dreads in a whole year, and he wanted someone with love, with good energy to retwist his hair. And in my head, I'm like, how do you know I got good energy? Like, how do you know, like, number one, how did you know, like, I'm a spiritual being to know that, you know, come to my house, like, and like I associate myself with Oshun. If you guys didn't know, got the yellow hair and the yellow shirt. Like that's just my chick, you know. She got my back always. And like he came to my house with these cowrie shells, and like I'm just like, where, like, how did God, like, you know, shift you into my space? So I do his hair, and like we're doing his hair, we're talking, and he starts talking to me about his dad, and he started telling me about how his dad works with women. His dad like empowers women. His dad wrote this book, and I'm listening. I'm like, wow, like that's crazy, because I have a brand and it's called Flourished, and I want to empower women, and I love women, and I want to teach self-love, and like I want to deliver babies, and that's what I want to do. Like I'm here for the women, and that's exactly what I want to do. And he's like, well, I got this book, you know. This is a copy I got from my house, and this guy literally pulls out this book and hands me this book. Not gonna front you, this is like a regular story. You know, I get this book, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna read it. You know, it's like halfway there. It's a cool story, but it's like halfway there. Like, okay, I get this book, but what happens after I read this book, what happens after I received that download, what happens after is what shook me. It's what moved me. So I read this book. I started reading this book. At first, like the first month I get this book, because I was in October. Like, yeah, first month I got this book, I didn't read it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read it. Until like I started like going really hard in my business, and I started like reading a lot of spiritual downloads. I was just getting a lot of information, and I'm not gonna say I was at a very low point in my life, but I was in a relationship, and like and like I feel like I needed more. Because the guy I was with, I thought, like, you know, well, honestly, to be real with you, my thought was, if I can leave this guy and still love myself and still hold space and hold, like, an energy for me to be able to find true love, to find someone that truly loves me, like, someone that really accepts me for who I am, then Dominique, you're winning. Because I'm a lover girl. I love love. I love the feeling of love. I don't like to give myself to people. I don't want any of that. I just want, you know, why can't I just find my Prince Charming tomorrow and live my happily ever after and have babies and just live life, you know? So the point is like I needed to leave that energy of that last relationship just really wasn't for me. And I was at a point where I was kind of searching for myself. So I was searching for myself, and I was like, okay, yeah, you're here, but I need to find myself. I need to, like, I'm just like changing. I'm literally changing, stripping myself. You know, I went a whole year without weave. You know, my birthday just passed, April 21st. That's a good date. I'm going to be talking about that too. So, you know, I got a weave. But I stopped wearing weave. I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped wearing nails. I stopped buying clothes. I stopped doing all that because I was like, all these things are financial beauty, and I don't need these things. And this book, that's the main point. This book. Let me get back to the book. So while I was going through all that, I'm sitting one day and I see this book, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna read this book. This is a 30-day challenge. I'm gonna read this book, and I'm gonna write a blog post, put on my website, and you know, that's cool. So I open up this book and I start reading this book, EVOW, The Enlightened Voice of Woman. This book changed my life. This book changed my energy. This book made me think about life in a whole nother way. Like, in a whole nother way. And honestly, you guys have to buy the book. I'm going to be talking about it, but even, like, follow this series. Follow the series. Listen to what I say about this book. But still, buy the book and get the information, because it's not. What I say is not the book. It's not. And the book talks about love. It talks about how women are God's love. And if you know that you are God's love as a woman, there's no, you are the source. A man is born from a woman. Let's think about that. A man is born from a woman, and we are God's love. So after I crack this book open and I read it and I get all this good knowledge, this good love, I look at my boyfriend. I'm just like, well, should I be with you and think that, you know, like, just give you all my energy, or should I leave you and love myself and kind of concentrate this energy of Dominique and who I'm trying to find, and wait for love to find me, and wait for the true, like, my true love? Because if I love myself and I fill my cup up with love, love will be abundant, love will be infinite. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be looking at you wondering, like, oh my gosh, well, will he do what I do for him? No, I wouldn't be thinking like that, because I have an infinite amount of love for myself. You know, and if I loved myself, I wouldn't be with somebody who would do me like that. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But the point is, I read this book, and once I read this book, I was after the author. I was after Trayvon's dad, like a crack smoker looking for the plug. I was like, where's the source? I need the source. I need to talk to this man. And I immediately wanted him to, like, help me. I was like, you know, yes, I'm doing Flourished, but I want you to teach me so I can be able to empower women. Period. I need you to teach me so I can empower women. And the first time, like, I chased Trayvon down, and at first I was scared to talk to him. I was like, what am I going to say? Like, oh my gosh, he wrote this book. What am I going to say? And the first time I got to talk to him, I talked to him for 7 hours. 7 hours of straight knowledge, straight love, straight information. And he made me feel like what was I running from? Like, I just need to love myself. And honestly, I'm going to drop more gems. I'm going to go into this book chapter by chapter, releasing videos, releasing downloads. I want you guys to watch. I want you guys to listen. It's for the women. I speak to you women. Elevating the mind, body, and soul. Tapping into that trinity. Okay? Once you love yourself, ain't nothing. You're going to be God-fearing. Like, I don't fear nobody but God. Okay? I don't fear nothing. What is fear? What is fear? If you're not talking about infinite love, then what are you talking about? So honestly, like, and oh no, I didn't get to the God trick. So before I even got to speak to the author, I was sitting one day on my bed, and I was watching YouTube videos, and I stumbled upon Oprah Winfrey's video, and she's talking about the book Color Purple. And if you guys didn't know, Color Purple is what changed Oprah Winfrey's life. And she's sitting down talking about Color Purple, and she's like, you know, she auditions for the movie Color Purple, and she doesn't get the position that she wants, and like, she's like, is God, like, when she read that book was her. That book was Oprah. That she felt that. She felt it literally, and she felt she needed to go for that role. And when she didn't get the role, she was like, is this a God trick? And then later on, you know, good things happen. I'm gonna link the video down below. I want you guys to watch that yourself. But later on, she does get the role, and that's what starts off her career. That was the stem, that seed. That's the seed that she planted to become Oprah Winfrey. And the reason why I keep saying this is a God trick is because After watching that video, I was watching that video and I started crying because I was like, oh my gosh, this is me. Like, oh my gosh, I read this book and this book changed my life, and like, I need to meet this author. And I started praying to God. I was like, God, please, I need to meet this author because he made me break up with my boyfriend. And the book made me go celibate. If you guys didn't know, the book made me. You see the birds talking? They got their own little stuff to say. They put their own 2 cents in the video. So so I was just watching it, like I started crying. I started praying to God. I was like, God, this man needs to like give me all his knowledge. Like he needs to, because I feel like I needed to love myself. Like that was the only thing I could think about was like, I'm God's love. It was like nothing else in the world matters. And when I break this book down, you guys are gonna understand what I'm talking about. But the point is, when I finally get to speak to this man, I find out this man is born April 21st, the same day I'm born, and he's 30 years ahead of me. I was 20, he was 50. 30 years ahead of me. And when I spoke to him, one thing that really stuck with me, he was like, if you were to be a man, would you be like me? And I was like, yeah, I would be like you. Like, you're really like me, dude. Like, the stuff you like, the stuff I like, and who you are. Like, I was like, that's totally me. So, stay tuned. I have a lot of stuff planned. I have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of love and light to give you guys. Peace and positivity.